thank you. Like, just thank you, Lisa Leslie. Thank you, Lisa Leslie. I cannot stress this enough. Thank you. There is somebody with sense. There is actually somebody with some sense.
Lisa Leslie's recent remarks regarding Caitlin Clark was possibly the most recent, the freshest breath of air ever captured in history of humanity, if you can document that sort of thing following a year of age, and the media and current WNBA players are furious against the cash machine owned by Caitlin Clark. Lisa's remarks effectively refuted each. All of the haters have been made by Dell appear ridiculous in comparison to WNBA legends. Lisa is the best ally you could have. She is among the most widely notable figures in women's hoops. The first OGS player who dunked if you are constructing a women's basketball court. It features Lisa's visage from Mount Rushmore, and whereas the envy that surrounds Caitlin Clark's common sense continues. Remarks such as Leslie's that put keeping everything in perspective and putting the haters should pause, think, or, at the very least, we hope that if we have gained knowledge, everything that Caitlin achieves more. Additionally, the more she contributes to the league, they continue to complain, so let's see what she stated, because it can be used exactly as is to silence any haters, but do this first. Every video is equivalent to one tissue. The haters, they will require them, so complete your portion then. So why is Lisa speaking up now? And the reason for it is Caitlin is setting new benchmarks while stepping onto the court, and the people who are critical are pretending once more that she doesn't merit it.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are by far the most popular team in the WNBA, and I'm so glad that we are finally just, I don't know if admitting it is the right word, but they're finally acting on it. And you guys, I'm happy that they're acting on it, because this news is not only just good for the Indiana Fever and Indiana Fever fans, it is good for the entire WNBA.
It's Caitlin, the worst kept secret in sports. In the WNBA, Clark is the most well-liked player. History, possibly the most well-liked and discussed American female athletes. Time, the economic impact, and the excitement. She is producing extremely high levels of evidence from Caitlin's rookie season. The Indiana Fever and Clark were destroyed. Overall records for the Fever drew. In 2024, there will be more than 300,000 fans at home. WNBA attendance record for a single season, and an absurd plus 39% rise over a year prior. Every team in the league witnessed. The league log is jumped by a large crowd. 154 sellouts, more than 3 times as many as 45. 2023 sellouts caused the TV site to blow up. Additionally, the most watched season was 2024 ever, as well as the top 7 WNBA viewers. Every game in ESPN's history took place last. Caitlin Clark's illness was prevalent in many. More than 54 million viewers overall watched the WNBA for the first time ever in 2024. As if her star wasn't already high enough. Power that persisted throughout the offseason. Fever declared a preseason show game at Caitlin's former college in Iowa. Fans grabbed up and stomped on the grounds. 15,000 tickets were sold in less than an hour. Attending a preseason game outside the arena. This is the effect of Caitlin Clark in action, and this ought to be an instance of celebration for every player in the WNBA, because, considering the additional visibility and chances the WNBA is starting to consider it, has long been viewed as an instance of charity. NBA subsidized money loss, but now, because of Caitlin, they have a chance for a better future at last, where athletes receive higher compensation and the league prospers. Yes, rather than we've witnessed jubilation, envy, and claws continue to surface. Many players attempt to be diplomatic, but the envy fails too. Some people just try to get between the cracks to lessen her influence by administering themselves as the cause of the league's ascent.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize.
Afterward, there are many who even tie her race-related fame suggesting that she's only excited since she's white, but it's only the framework of the media's performance. Correct. To be completely honest, this goes beyond the fans and the media as well, and I understand. Actually, if you're a different player, it make you angry that everyone, reporters in particular, want to talk only. It must be annoying to think about Caitlyn being questioned about her in every interview, but you know what the answer is? Isn't to behave sour or disparage Caitlyn. It's to capitalize on the attention. She is providing those new fans with a motivation to learn your name as well as all of. This harms a company's reputation. League that has long required bringing a transcendent celebrity into casual supporters and ultimately turn the game into a popular TV that everyone must watch. Product recall of about 19 million. Caitlyn was observed in the NCAA. There are no women's players in the championship game. Never joined the WNBA with such a. At Iowa, she was a one-woman show, releasing masterworks at 40 points in March. Insanity, and leading her group to consecutive national championship games. We have never seen appearances, to put it plainly. A player joins the WNBA via this type of profile is not as good as Candace's. Diana Taurasi or Parker possessed that degree of there's a buzz coming in, and guess what? Just what Caitlyn accomplished for the WNBA.
Clark, step back, hits a three. Caitlyn Clark looking to push the pace. Clark showing off the moves. Clark, to the rim, just couldn't finish. Clark with the hesitation. Clark gets inside and lays it in.
She nearly made the league hot all by herself. Keep track of attendance and merchandise sales. You've seen the statistics and they're black and white. It is indisputable that you would have to be residing beneath a rock that is covered by wearing noise and Mount Everest, turning off headphones while listening to Metallica, a concert to be unaware of what's actually happening on here.
Clark with the board.
Diana Taurasi has 48 triples coming into the game.
Logo!
Caitlyn Clark wasn't just a publicity stunt. She smashed WNBA records with her delivery. Most points and assists in a single season by a guard, scored a league-high 19 points, helped out in a single game, and averaged almost. She scored 20 points per game this season. Even led Indiana to its first postseason appearance because 2016 was a fantastic year for those who said game may not convert to the professional level. Obviously it did, and she uses style that emerges from the dishing of the logo. No glance goes by while playing with a assured swagger that not few people can match. In addition to being immensely popular, she's the genuine on the court as well.
Are today, 20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5.6 turnovers.
Hell of a number.
Those are hell of a rookie.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Yeah, it's only not dominating because she's a rookie.
However, it seems some members of the WNBA community just cannot manage it. The risk is too great too. It's unfair that despite their egos, despite their talent, they were never able to. Caitlyn's popular fame is receiving the latest illustration of this jealousy is the following a national broadcast schedule of 6 WNBA clubs relocating to new locations. NBA stadiums hosting games versus the Fever, with some amusingly refusing to acknowledge its. Caitlyn Clark's actions caused the Atlanta. The owner of Dreams even accused a schedule disagreement at their typical arena, confident a dispute resolved miraculously by relocating to a. The WNBA announced a 16,000-seat NBA facility. Its nationwide broadcast schedule for the forthcoming.
With such star power on those teams, it's really no surprise they're atop the list for the most games available for you to check out on a national scale. The Fever, they lead the league with 41 games here, followed by the Aces 33, the champion Liberty at 32.
The Fever and Caitlyn Clark received 41. A WNBA record is played on national TV, which is 8 more than the Aces of Asia Wilson and Brianna Stewart and the other 9. Reigning Liberty Super champion. Actually, that should surprise. Not a single game last season. Caitlin Clark is the one that plays Drew the most. 3 times as many watchers as other. One of her postseason games is against a team. Attracted 2.5 million more viewers than the WNBA Finals once more in recent years. This information is not secret. Everyone is aware of it. And the broadcasters and teams now have made it quite evident by their behavior. This year's opportunity is great. The brightest spotlight will be on Caitlin, but the league as a whole. The Fever currently has a fantastic team. Blockbuster free agency is to thank. Signings. They acquired seasoned celebrities like 6-time All-Star Danana Boner and Natasha, and the 2-time WNBA champion, 3-time champion Howard, a former. They were also named Defensive Player of the Year. Added a shot blocking for Brianna Turner, Melbourne Carlson, and a defensive specialist. 2-time champion Savvy brings leadership off the bench. Possibly the most daring action was trading for Sophie Cunningham, a sharpshooter, is renowned for her swagger and aggressiveness. In summary, Indiana isn't playing around. Went from reconstruction to what appears to be a competitor on paper, exactly like that. 5 All-Stars are currently on the Howard Kelsey roster. Clark Boner, 2023 Rookie of the Year, and Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, along with numerous champions. Given a deep bench, the level of performances going to rise, and supporters will have a strong commitment to this team. But when the news broke, the complaints began coming in from the players themselves, who will get from all of this additional prominence, encompassing one of the league's Nafisa Collier, one of the biggest stars, just guiding her squad to the WNBA championship game, and even managed to land MVP in her own unique 3 off-season leagues when questioned. On ESPN's initial analysis of Caitlin Clark, she claimed to be receiving 41 TV games.
I think it's 2 things. I mean, obviously people want to watch Caitlin play, and so you have to put the people on TV that people want to see. But at the same time, like, there's stars all over the league, and you want good basketball as well. Obviously, Indiana, especially like with their free agents, they're gonna be a great team. But to not have the defending champs on TV more, I think it's kind of crazy.
I'll continue for a moment. Before we return to Lisa, let's vent here. Leslie, who talks about this a lot more calmly, everyone should be aware of. In reality, she is one of the WNBA players. Executive committee, defending those. She should comprehend that higher salaries, that superstars, are essential for development. She attempted to sign Caitlin to a league. $1 million to perform a unique reason. She knew Caitlin, so she offered that much. Was essential to its accomplishments, and what occurred, Caitlin turned it down like Mutombo, and Unrivaled had a mediocre performance. Audience, it certainly began with some humming, but occasionally it had trouble. Crack 100,000 viewers, everything was okay. Yet nothing noteworthy to talk about. Not even close to the Caitlin obsession. And all of that star power and talent. Collier maintains that it must be. Highlighted the top players from all over the league. She actually possessed the most of them. Performing in an unmatched guess what still wasn't sufficient to make a difference without. The same is true, Caitlin, with the WNBA itself has these same 2021, 2022, and 2023 stars, and ratings increased gradually, followed by Caitlin Clark in 2024. And they took off.
Is good for the entire WNBA. So I have the broadcast schedule here. We have ABC, NBA TV, Prime Video, CBS, ESPN, 1, 2, 3.
See? The major issue, what players have been demanding is, currently, they refer to fair pay as their. Many WNBA players make relatively low pay. Players earn less than the Costco in your area. Assistant manager, which appears to be crazy for a professional sportsman. However, thus far simply said, revenue and profitability weren't. The league has been there to pay more. Years of financial loss, but that's on. The players are about to change. Getting ready to go to the negotiation table. for a new CBA shortly in the hopes of receiving more money, as they have already indicated, might attack if they don't receive what they desire, if there is anything they ought to acknowledge. Considering this enormous new spotlight on, the time has come for them to put on a performance. What they are capable of producing, an incredible show. Demonstrate their abilities and create this season the WNBA's greatest ever wins anew. Fans make them return and retain them. Want more? You can obtain those greater incomes without complaining about fairness, not by increasing the size of the pie, but similar to how some people desire greater income without yet generating the income they desire. More national TV games without becoming as well liked as Caitlyn appears to be a trend, huh? Okay, enough rant. Let's return to Lisa Leslie. Lisa was before I blew a gasket. Recently interviewed by USA Today, and concerning Caitlin Clark's beefed, she received a perfect score on the TV schedule. Respond in a way that makes you stop and go back. Commit to memory and tell everybody who queries Caitlin Clark. Honestly.
I think it's all about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect called the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games?
Obviously, like, that is so true. Every word of that statement is a fact.
Hang it in the loo. She's right, it's a masterpiece. Why in the world would you be angry over more spectators for your event? But Lisa wasn't finished, so she investigated the impact of Caitlin Clark on everyone. Players, something that I think each and every player can observe firsthand, but many deny that they would prefer to plug their, stomp their feet, and sniff their noses as Caitlin brings everyone's bacon home.
I think we have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat.
Bingo. All boats are lifted by the rising tide. Caitlyn's situation is going to alter women's basketball as well as its players' fortunes for all time. This has previously occurred in sports when the transcendent superstar shows up, they elevate the entire league by considering the Magic Johnson and Larry in the NBA in the 1980s. Bird's massive draw salvaged the league. Michael Jordan showed interest in it. Do you believe other players will return globally? Then grumbled about MJ or Magic receiving excessive attention if they. Now that those stars were there, they appear silly, attracting more followers and increasing revenue for. Everyone is enjoying that time in the WNBA. She is currently with Caitlyn, bringing them additional money on their own, while earning only roughly $76,000. She is promoting herself from the league. That fresh $2.2 billion meter, do you think? The WNBA just signed a rights deal that, please, out of thin air. It's mostly because to Caitlyn's insane viewership and the surge of curiosity she generated. Even Minnesota Lynx coach, flat out, Cheryl Reeve, acknowledged Caitlyn's arrival to assist the league in securing such a windfall. The enormous, delicious, the pie that they are about to cut apart was Caitlyn's cooking, but some of these. There are people out there griping about the chef, and Lisa finally mentioned something I believe to be fundamental of the reasons Caitlin Clark's admirers become so angry up against the bigots: the lack of gratitude of specific gamers.
And I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that. So I just don't, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlyn is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game just as a lot of other players have.
This originates from an original who contributed to the league's growth to a point at which the athletes of today could carry the torch, which is what you should do. Act like a star, and exit the game more effectively then. You got it, Sue Bird, Lisa Cheryl swoops down. They all did this paving, Diana Terasai. They set the setting for Caitlyn. Specifically for Caitlyn, and this is what they hoped that a new star would join the league. They should not have been able to reach heights. Take pride in the fact that Caitlyn has never attempted. She knows how to take credit for herself. She is the straw that stirs the beverage. Evident, yet she always receives flowers. To the legends and present players who came before her, this is not required. But she acts in this way because it is morally correct. In actuality, she has been nothing but, case in point, being kind in the midst of all the excitement. In fact, Caitlyn was invited by the NBA to join them on their All-Star weekend. A three-point competition is a massive stage where, without a sure, she would steal the show, yet she declined, explaining that she would rather save her debut in the three-point contest for her home during the NBA's All-Star weekend. In other words, she appeared in court in Indianapolis, wished to avoid overshadowing her own league's event or serve as a supporting act for the NBA. She aimed to make the WNBA more prominent. Even as her, how can you not admire that? As legend spreads, she stays involved in the game. Not the celebrity, but a lot of her peers. Simply said, players don't give back to. Everything they're doing for the league appears to be irrelevant.
They just can't. They just can't not even wrap their head around. They can't just accept, okay, this person is more popular than me. Or this person is more popular than the player that we want to push. But even still, that's okay.
Now, in a previous video, I discussed how I believe the hatred will keep going. Lisa Leslie is a huge speaking up in support of Caitlyn. We've had Cheryl Miller, another legend, advocate for Caitlyn, even in the NBA. Superstars such as Charles and LeBron James. Barkley has observed the absurdity and pointed out Caitlyn's small-minded jealousy. Sophie Cunningham, a new teammate, has been one of her most vocal supporters even before Sophie didn't land in Indiana. Hesitant to refer to Caitlyn as the spokesperson for the WNBA, and she has hailed her as a once-in-a-lifetime, a talent for life.
It was nuts. There's no other way to say it. It was nuts. I think, you're seeing a team that's now, affecting the economy in the city. You got people coming from out of town, out of state, out of the country, maybe even to see games. And so that's special.
As well as Sydney, a proud member of the WNBA's old guard, Carlson. Additionally, the guard acknowledged the effect of Caitlyn. That's what makes it unique, so sure. There are reasonable voices out there, but we obviously have a long way to go. To be honest, Caitlyn may shatter every record, win a title, and even increase everyone's income by 10 times, and a few players are still attempting to take, as I've stated, give her credit or discredit her. Prior to another participant saying USC's UConn's Paige or Phenom Guga Watkins. Anyone who enters the league, including Beckers, and creates their own sphere of, despite not being at Caitlyn's popularity level, every eye will stay on. No matter how much she gains, Caitlyn, she will continue to be the league's. The top of the lightning rod is lonely. Yes, Lisa does, and Cheryl Miller does as well. The teammates of Caitlyn who decided to join. They got the fever to play with her. But until additional gamers raise their voices to stifle the hatred, this dynamic is not. Hopefully, it will disappear as more voices emerge. The truth shall prevail over the WNBA. Players can encourage one another's sentiments. Others put up a fantastic display for new admirers and turn them into WNBA fans for life. Fans of Caitlyn Clark aren't the only ones because league supporters, not just one, are the aim. Player supporters, after which they laugh uncontrollably, jointly to the bank, and if the players can seize this opportunity and put up a fantastic display and greet every new visitor to the league that we will participate in for a season that will never be forgotten. If you get ready. I thought last year was crazy. The second year of the Caitlin Clark period is appearing to be far more massive than we could be. Examining attendance that broke records. TV ratings are off the charts once more. And, who knows, perhaps a deep playoff run. Hurry to the place where the fever breaks the internet. You will undoubtedly not. Would prefer not to miss a second of it if you're. Drop a basketball in the still present area. Comments to greet you, and thank you for seeing.